Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today in this video we are going to learn about proving inequalities. So let us see how to prove certain inequalities on subsets of R. There are certain preliminaries which are required for us to prove such inequalities. One of them is that if you have a continuous function defined on a closed interval whose derivative is strictly positive, then the function is strictly increasing on the domain. So there is a function whose derivative is positive, then it's strictly increasing. What is the meaning of strictly increasing? A function f is said to be strictly increasing on its domain if fx is more than fy whenever x is more than y. That means when your x increases along x-axis, then the height of the function also increases along y-axis. So as you increase x, your fx is also increasing. So if x is more than y, then fx will be more than fy. Such functions are called strictly increasing, and this is a criteria for checking increasing or decreasing nature of a function. If the derivative is strictly positive, the function is strictly increasing. If the derivative is non-negative, that means if you allow equality also here, then the function is monotonically increasing. This we already know from our preliminary concepts of calculus. Similarly, the other way around is also true. If you have a function which is continuous and its derivative is negative on the domain, then the function is strictly decreasing. So it's going to be looking somewhat like this. As you keep on increasing x, the height is going to keep on decreasing. This is how we define decreasing functions. Whenever you have x more than y, then fx is less than fy. So it's the other way around. The inequality gets reversed. If you increase x, the height decreases. This is what decreasing function means, and this is what increasing function means by definition. And these are the two criterions which help you to decide increasing decreasing nature of the function, provided the function is differentiable. So you just check the sign of the derivative. If the derivative is positive, it's increasing. If derivative is negative, it's decreasing. So let's use these concepts for proving certain important inequalities which exist in subintervals of R. Look at the first example. You have to show that x upon 1 plus x is less than log 1 plus x is less than x whenever x is greater than 0. In all such questions regarding proving inequalities, it's always good to define a function which is to be shown as positive in any of the sides of the inequalities. We'll be doing this inequality partially. We'll do it in two steps. We'll first prove this inequality, and then we'll focus on the second half of this inequality. Now looking at the first half of the inequality, it's very easy to see that if you define fx as log of 1 plus x minus x upon 1 plus x, then in a way you need to show that fx is strictly positive whenever x is more than 0. If you can manage to show this, then you are done for the first half of the inequality, which is this inequality, the first one. Now if you define f like this, it's very much defined on 0 infinity, because the only problem here is going to be occurring at x equal to minus 1, where the function will not be defined, which is not a part of the domain. So this function is well defined on 0 infinity, and it's very clear that it's a continuous function as well. If we look at the derivative of this function, it's easy to see the derivative of log 1 plus x is 1 upon 1 plus x, and for this, if you apply quotient rule, everything simplifies to this expression x upon 1 plus x whole square. And since x is given to be positive in the question, the domain is the positive side of R. So R plus basically. So this f dash x is clearly greater than 0 on 0 infinity. Now if derivative is positive, we saw in the preliminaries that I've mentioned in the beginning of this page, that if the derivative is positive, then the function is increasing on the domain which is under discussion. So the domain is 0 infinity, so f is increasing on 0 infinity. Now what does increasing mean? Increasing means that fx is more than fy for every x more than y. In particular, if you take y to be 0, you have fx more than f0 whenever x is more than 0. In all such questions, the designing of the question will be done in such a manner that f of 0 is generally going to be turning out to be 0. Why 0? Because looking at the inequality, the expression that you defined as fx was expected to be shown as positive. So if we are saying fx more than f0, f0, you can see when you put x equal to 0 here, what is f of 0? Log of 1 is 0 minus 0. So f0 is 0. So in a way you are saying that fx is more than 0, but fx was defined by you as log 1 plus x minus x upon 1 plus x. So that means you are saying log 1 plus x is strictly greater than x upon 1 plus x, which proves first half of the inequality. This is done. This part is done. Now focusing on the second part, in a similar fashion, you will consider another function g, let's say g or h, whatever you want to call it, as x minus log 1 plus x. When you do that, on the same lines, finding the derivative of this function, the derivative turns out to be strictly positive on the domain which is given to us, meaning thereby that g is also strictly increasing, and hence gx is more than g0 whenever x is more than 0, because g increasing means gx is more than gy whenever x is more than y. So taking y to be 0 in particular, you have gx is more than g0 whenever x is more than 0, but gx was defined by us as x minus log 1 plus x, and g0 we can see when you put x equal to 0, it's 0 minus log 1, that's 0. So 1 and 2, in the first half we defined f as this, log of this minus this. It's always a good idea, that's the general convention used in all the books which discuss inequalities. You always consider fx to be something which is supposed to be shown as positive. Even if you do it the other way around, you take x upon 1 plus x minus log 1 plus x, call it as fx, then you will be able to show that fx is a decreasing function, and hence you will get the same result even if you consider it the other way around. But since positive is the general convention which is used everywhere, it's always a good idea to take the side which is leading to the positive expression, call it as fx or gx respectively, and then show the derivative of that expression to be positive, and then use the strictly increasing, strictly decreasing definition in terms of inequalities to get the desired inequality. So 1 and 2 put together give you the desired conclusion. Look at the second problem which has been included in this. We have to prove that tan x is always more than x in this domain 0 pi by 2. So again, using the same idea, you take everything on one side and call it as fx. So if fx is tan x minus x, it's easy to see that f0 is 0. And the derivative of fx is sec square x minus 1, which is obviously positive on 0 pi by 2, because sec is the reciprocal of cos, and cos is always bounded by 1. So this expression is always positive, and hence f is an increasing function on 0 pi by 2, which increasing through the derivative test. So derivative is positive, so f is increasing. But the increasing definition, the ab initio definition of increasing is in terms of inequalities like this. That means fx is more than f0 whenever x is more than 0, because increasing means fx is more than fy whenever x is more than y. So if you take y to be 0 here, you get fx is more than f0 on the domain which is given in the question, and hence tan x is more than x on 0 pi by 2. So on the same lines, we can prove all these inequalities. This again has two parts. The first part of the inequality is this. The second part of the inequality is this. So we'll do it in two parts. First, we'll define fx as tan inverse x upon x minus x upon 1 plus x square, show its derivative to be positive, and hence use the increasing nature of the function to get the one-sided desired inequality. And similarly, for the other inequality, we'll take x minus tan inverse x as the second function, again show its derivative to be positive, and use the inequality definition of increasing decreasing functions to get the second side. So on the same lines, a lot of questions have been incorporated in this video for your practice, but the crux is that you consider take everything on one side of one of the inequalities, making a 0 on the other side, and call that expression as fx, prove that expression to be a strictly increasing function of x, and use the inequality definition of increasing decreasing functions to get the desired inequality. So you can see all the steps are exactly similar in all these questions. You do the same process. Now look at this one. This is slightly different. You have to show mod of tan inverse x minus tan inverse y is less than equal to mod of x minus y for every x and y in R. Now since you have to prove it for every x and y in R, let's fix up two real numbers a and b and try to prove this inequality for those a and b. That means this pair a and b. And since this pair has been randomly chosen, so see this arbitrarily chosen pair, if I can prove this inequality for this pair a, b, then I'll be proving it for every choice of x and y lying in R. So let's fix up the choice of a and b and define fx as tan inverse x. What will happen to f dash x then? F dash x clearly is 1 upon 1 plus x square, which is less than equal to 1 on any subset of R, any interval which is an interval lying in R, we see that mod of f dash x is less than equal to 1. But your Lagrange's mean value theorem says what? Since f is a continuous and differentiable function on AB, there is a C belonging to AB such that fb minus fa upon b minus a is f dash c. So if you take mod on both the sides, what do you get? Mod of fb minus fa. F is this function, tan inverse x. So it's like tan inverse b minus tan inverse a is less than equal to mod of b minus a, because this modulus is equal to modulus of f dash c, but we saw that modulus of f dash c is less than equal to 1, and hence mod of fb minus fa is less than equal to mod b minus a, and hence you have shown the inequality, the desired inequality for the pair a and b that you started with in the beginning. But since this pair was arbitrarily chosen, so this is true for any a and b in R, and hence we have mod of tan inverse x minus tan inverse y is less than equal to mod x minus y for every pair x phi lying in R. So that's how you use Lagrange's mean value theorem to prove inequalities. And this increasing decreasing criterion for the functions, that derivative positive means function increasing and the derivative negative means the function decreasing, is also a corollary to Lagrange's mean value theorem only. Now look at the sixth problem. Again a similar problem. You are expected to prove an inequality e to power x more than 1 plus x for every x in R plus. So you consider the function, take everything to the right side, e to power x, you take everything on one side and you call that expression as fx, and then show that this expression as a function of x is an increasing function of x through the derivative criterion. The derivative is clearly more than 0 because e to power x is more than 1 whenever x is more than 0, as e to power x is also an increasing function. Now since this is an increasing function, fx is more than f0, and hence e to power x is more than 1 plus x on R plus. On the same lines, these two practice problems have been put for your practice. You can practice more problems of this nature. You can create your own problems also through some fundamental knowledge of inequalities that you already have. The only thing that you have to keep in mind for proving such inequalities is that you define fx to be everything when you take things on one side of the inequality, so that it gets easier for you to handle it and find out its derivative. If you're doing it using the increasing approach, prove that it's increasing. If you're doing it using the decreasing approach, prove that it's a decreasing function. In any case, your desired inequality is going to come in the end when you use the inequality definition of increasing decreasing function. So that's how you do inequalities using mean value theorems. And that's all for this video. I hope you have understood the idea of proving inequalities. If you like the video, please share forward, and thank you so much for watching.